Hey guys, so I have a little bit of a different video today, and I just thought I would maybe splice some of the pieces together as I'm working on this project. I purchased a file from the Silhouette online store, and it is a 2-page scrapbook layout, and this particular design is called, I'm going to look it up here real quick. I had to download the actual instructions because it's a pretty detailed layout. It's not, but it is when you're putting together all of these pieces. This particular design is called the Believe Scrapbook Kit, and it is from PPBN Designs. And they do have, and I'm learning to pay attention to these now, at least this particular designer, if you go to their website, or there is a link actually right by the file cut that you can go and download the instructions. And I didn't really realize that until after I'd purchased it and started cutting out some of the pieces. And I'm kind of taking it with a little twist of my own. I'm not following the instructions to the T. I will show you the layout design at the end of the video, what their version looks like, and you'll be able to see how you can totally make it your own. But I just thought I would share with you how I go about putting the pieces together. It's not super it's not rocket science or anything, but this particular layout is, like I said, it's a two 12 by 12s or a 12 by 24 layout, and it will hold 5 photos along with the embellishments and title. I have already done the title because there was I stickled it and I'm needing it to dry, but I'll go ahead and show you the title. And it just says Believe. Now actually when I was doing this, I made the mistake, my paper wasn't quite long enough and it cut off the very end of it right here. And but that's okay. I'll be able to layer over the top of it. Nobody will ever know because hey, it's mine. So there's the title of it. This particular design also comes with a big Santa Claus face, and that's what I'm going to show you how to assemble. And we're going to do this together because I've not put this one together before, and we're just going to do it together and see just how difficult or simple it might be. So of course this is the base, and I've been trying to figure out what pieces go in order, and I'm assuming that I've got the face. It comes in 3 different layers. You've got the very bottom layer that's white, and then you have the next layer. Actually there's 4 layers. The next one would be a darker pink, and then black, and then your flesh tone pink on top. So I'm going to go ahead really quickly and just kind of glue these pieces together so that I can get these down, because from what I can tell on the design and how I've tried to put these together, this one has to go down first. And you'll see what I mean in a minute when I start putting this together, because it's there's a lot of layers to this Santa head, and he was a lot bigger than I expected. When he cut out, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was that big. But that's cool. So I'm just gonna layer this together, and I am using one of my favorite adhesives, and this is the Scotch Quick Dry adhesive. I have others that I use for different projects. And for a while, I was on a kick with the Tombow. That's the one that has all of the different names. It's this one here, the Tombow Multi-Mono Liquid Glue. I have a love-hate relationship for this. It is a good glue, and I wasn't paying attention and I didn't line that one up very well. That glue is a really good glue, but I don't like the fact that it's very, very, very sticky. A lot of the glues that I use, why am I having such a hard time with this one? A lot of the glues that I use, hopefully this will line up. If not, I can trim around it. But a lot of the glues that I use, like this one here, I just got some on my hand. I can rub it off or use a baby wipe and it'll come right off. But this other stuff, oh my, it leaves you sticky for quite some time. And when I try to clean it off with a baby wipe, I just get baby wipe fibers all over my hands and stuff. So I don't use that one very often anymore, just because it's so frustrating. It's messy to me. But it is a really good glue though. Alright, hopefully I've got this one going on the right. I'm trying to get it to where you don't see that, the nose. Okay. Alright, so there's Santa's face. Okay, and from the best that I can tell, this is going to go next. But this is the tricky part for me, at least, is knowing where to put it. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to lay down the beard and then see, he's gonna, I'm seeing a little gap right here, so he's gonna have to come down some. Let's see. I guess that's right. And if we layer the hat on top of that, let's see. Okay, so that looks about right. So I'm going to just hold this in place long enough to get him glued down. This is going to be a pretty thick embellishment. And I'm just going to lay, I'm not going to be super careful about, I've got a good glob of glue down there. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we've got that. The next layer, it looks like the next layer would be, I tell you what, before I do anything else, let me put the hat together. So there's his little mustache. These are the extra pieces. There were two different, the hat comes in two pieces, and their instructions showed to cut the bottom layer in a light pink. And even though, I mean, it's cute, I actually prefer the white more. So I'm going to stick with that one. I cut a white one to begin with, and then I cut the pink one thinking, okay, they're telling me to cut it in pink instead. But they both look okay, but I think I prefer the white version better. So, okay, so got that. I hope everyone's having a really good weekend. I'm filming this on a Saturday, and I've got the house to myself. So Bentley Boo and I are hanging out here and just kind of having a nice, crafty, quiet day. Alright, so there is the hat. I've got a little bit of glue on it, but I don't think that's going to be a big deal. Let me grab a baby wipe. And I've got some glue in a spot that I don't want on my mat. I don't want anything else to stick to it. Okay. Alright, let's see. Alright, so we got the hat. If I look at this, how the layering goes, we've got the beard and the fluff of the hat. So maybe the hat goes down. Yep, the hat's going to go down next. So it's not the beard. It looks like the beard's going to go on after the hat. So let's go ahead and glue down this hat. I'm not one to normally like these very multi-cut pieces. It is very time consuming. I'm going to have to twist it this way so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. One of my tricks, and I'm sure a lot of people may do this, but when I've got a file that, and not one this large of course, but if I've got a file that has a lot of pieces to it, but it's not a, you know, size-wise big, I will cut it all out in white, and I'll use my Copics to color the pieces versus having to cut out all these different pieces in the different cardstocks. But for this particular one, it was very large, and so I decided to go ahead and do it the traditional way. And that's okay. I did use my Copics on one little spot, and I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so let's go and put on. Okay, so his beard comes next. And I'm just going to lay some. I know it looks like I'm not being very careful with my glue and whatever, but I tell you, with all these layers on this, I don't think it's really going to matter that I go completely to the edges, because it's just, there's just so much on this. Alright, so let's get his little beard down. Alright, starting to look a little bit like a Santa Claus now. Alright, and let's see, he has a mustache. Of course, Santa has a mustache. And we know that that's going to go here. I'm thinking if I want to pop it up on pop dots, which I might do that. And then he has his little puff part here on his hat. I'm trying to figure out which way it turns. Let me see. Kind of looks like a cloud. That's not the right way. Let's try it this way. Okay, that's the right way. So let me go ahead. You know what? This might look cute popped up too. What do you think? How about, let's do that. Let's pop those two up on pop dots just to make it a little bit more dimensional. Why the heck not? I think what I'm going to do is I might come back later and add some type of something to make his hat and beard and mustache kind of fluff up a little bit to make it kind of look like fur. I don't really have, I wish I had some white flock, but I don't. Okay, so I should have used, I've got a different piece of foam that I should have used on that, but that's okay. Alright, before I lay this down again, let's just make sure it's the right direction. Yes, okay. Alright, so we got that down, and let's go ahead and pop up his little mustache. I know it's not the time of the year to be doing Christmas stuff, but you know what? I haven't really even begun my Christmas layouts yet. You know, December's a busy month for everyone, and I certainly don't have time to do much scrapbooking in December, and I usually wind up printing my pictures after the fact. So for me, a lot of my Christmas layouts get done in January and February, and sometimes even into March. Heck, I still have Christmas pictures from 10 years ago that need to be done, but they get done when they get done. Alright, so let's get his mustache on here. I'm going to cover up his nose just a little bit. And there is Santa. Right here in this, I keep bumping the camera, I'm so sorry. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about here. Right here in this area, there we go. Right here, we've got a little set of holly leaves. And where's it at? I've got to find the other piece to it. There it is. Okay, so I've got the base for the holly leaves. And then over on my desk over here, I've got the holly berries. And I've got 3 white circles. And then the holly berries they're red, of course, and they're going to go on top. They are really tiny. I've done smaller, but they are little. And what I'm going to do, just to make this go a little bit easier, is I'm going to run them through my little Xyron sticker maker, because I think it would be a lot easier to... Let me move Santa out of the way for a second. It might be a little bit easier to assemble. So I'm going to put them in. Get in there. See if I can get this manipulated just right, and then I can get all 3 of them down there. We'll see. Okay. That looks about right. Alright. And then the base of them are white, so I'm just going to go ahead and make those sticky as well. Get them. Tweezers are your best friend when you're working with this little thing, I tell you. I'm going to pull those out. And you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just do the leaves while I'm at it, since I'm in here. I only had, well, I take that back. I have part of this, the leaves, they're 2-dimensional kind of shaded leaves, and you'll see in a second. And the top layer is supposed to be a lighter green. The bottom layer is supposed to be darker green. And I didn't have the right color darker green to really match this green. I'm using like a traditional green, like an emerald. And I really didn't have the green to go for the darker area. And so I pulled out my Copics and I cut them both in green. And then I just used one of my Copic markers to color over the darker layer to make it darker, and it's perfect. And you'll see in just a second, it's the same shade of green, it's just darker, so it does look like a shadow. Okay, I usually save this when I pull it off and just kind of roll it up. Whenever you're pulling these off, you may get little gummy areas around it. Rubbing the area before you pull this up, you know, around the edges will kind of eliminate some of it. You're always going to have some, but if you take this on the sticky side and just tap around, it will actually pick up the glue pieces that are still there. So, alright, so I'm not going to pull these white ones up yet because they're going to go down here, and I want to assemble the berries before I pull them up all the way. So I'm just going to put the berries together. Okay. I did. Well, hopefully that one won't show up too much. I got that one stuck down a little crooked, but it's going to go on white. So I think the berries go on last. So I'm going to put these on first. My dark green pieces will go on first. And I'm assuming, I could be wrong, let me see, they look like they might be different. Yeah, I'm glad I checked that because they were, one's for one side and one's for the other, it looks like, so they're not both identical. And I don't think that this one is gonna, I think I've got it flipped around the wrong way. I'm going to have to make it work, and I'm going to have to trim the white. I stuck it down and it should have gone this way, like that. And I made this sticky on the wrong side. And instead of taking the sticky off, I'm just going to go ahead and put it down, and I'm going to have to trim around the white area so you won't see it. So what I'll do is I'll cut this white part off here, here, and here, and then it won't, you know, it just needs a place for everything to rest and build everything on. There's the top pieces, and I'm wondering if I made the same mistake this time too. Let's find out. Let's see, this one must go here. And I did the same thing. But, oh well. You know what? Kind of adds a little dimension to it, so that's okay. It's all trial and error. While I'm here, let me just go ahead and trim up around this here. So it'll kind of look like it should. This is something that I do when I'm really don't have one thing in particular that I want to work on, but I want to be somewhat crafty, you know. I love my Cameo. It was the best purchase I'd ever made. I didn't think twice about selling my Cricut. It just wasn't for me, and I've had nothing but success with my Cameo, and I use it a lot. It has definitely paid for itself, at least. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and put these on the holly berries. And I'm just winging it here because I don't exactly know which berry goes where. And, you know, they're going to be, I'm assuming that the light source is going to come from the same direction, so I'll try to keep that in mind, putting those down. And this one, I'm going to put on a pop dot because it is so thick in layers and it's not going to sit quite, you know what, not a pop dot. Let me do this. I'm going to put a glue dot on it because I've got some glue dots that give it a little bit of dimension. I made these glue dots myself, and I love it. I've not purchased a glue dot in over 3 years, and I can customize them to make them whatever size I want. And I've got a video from a while back that shows how I do those, but if you're interested, you can ask. I'll certainly share it again. Okay, there we go. All right, there's the holly leaves, and I'm probably going to take the stickles to these and bling that up a little bit. And his little holly set is going to go right here. That's really cute. Okay. So let's give him a little glue. Get it turned in the right direction. And Santa is finished. Isn't it cute? That's a really big Santa. I mean, look at the size. I mean, he's big. And that's going to go on a page. All right, so Santa's done. I've got some candy canes. And I'm going to actually flip these over. I like the texture on this one, so let me flip the other one over. The candy canes are going to assemble just like you saw me. I'll just do one on camera. And you can get the gist of it. And then what I'm going to do is, after I get finished with all of these pieces and they're dried and what have you, I will assemble the page itself, and probably without the photos on it to begin with. And then I'll come back in another video. I'll splice it into this one and show you what the completed layout looks like. This stuff dries so quick, and I've got this one off just a hair. Okay. And there's actually a hair on there. And that came from the sweater that I'm wearing right now, so okay. So let's get a little bit more glue on here. Okay. I'm gonna be a little bit more careful putting this one on because it does have some smaller pieces, like smaller as in like this is a really narrow area right here, and I want to make sure that it looks decent. You know what I didn't even think about when this glue went down? I'm gonna have to wipe this up pretty quickly. There's areas that I glued. I probably should have glued this red part to the other instead of the vice versa, because now I've got glue in places that I don't need glue. So let's see if I can wipe that up before it dries and I have evidence of glue like that, and I hope I don't ruin this. Okay. You know what would look cute on these candy canes is if boy, it would take a lot, but I could glossy accent the candy cane so it truly looked like, you know, a piece of candy. You know what, I might, just depends on how much glossy accents I have. Okay, so I've got that one finished, and I'm going to go ahead and put the green one together. I'm going to get everything else assembled, and then I will come back and with another part of the video, and I'll show you what it looks like together. All right, so hang tight. Okay, so here is the finished layout, and I went ahead and put pictures on it. I wasn't planning on doing the photos on it right away, but I felt inspired to go ahead and do it, so I'll just go ahead and share it with you real quick. I do have my camera on a tripod, and I'm manually moving it, so forgive me if it's a little jumpy. But as you can see, there are two 12 by 12 layouts, and there is the title that I did in the beginning. There are the two candy canes that we made, and over here is the holly leaf. And then the Santa turned out really cute. This little embellishment right here is something that I added extra because I felt like it needed a little bit more green on this side. So I'm going to pan over here and try to zoom in a little bit, and so you can kind of see the details. I wound up not putting the glossy accents on the candy canes, and they do look shiny even though they're not, so I'm happy with that. And then let me pull back out, and then oops, wrong way. My family's gonna hate me for doing this because some of the photos look atrocious. The Santa turned out really cute on the layout. Oops. And there he is. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can pull in. I did wind up putting stickles on the holly berries. And also on his hat. And I just swirled it around to make it look like, you know, fluff a little bit. Yeah, you can see it now. That looks pretty cute. The papers that I used on this were from the, I believe I used, let me see real quick and I can tell you. I think it was Teresa Collins. I had 2 different packs out. Yes, it was. It was the background paper, the candy stripe, is from this stack right here, and that is the Teresa Collins Checking It Twice. And I just used some black cardstock for the top and bottom, and then a little bit of green, and I ran that through my Cuttlebug. But you know, this is in this little let me see if I can zoom in so I can show you what I'm talking about. The little love right there, that is also a sheet of paper that was from that same cardstock, that same paper stack, and I just cut it out and layered it underneath it. I don't know if you can see that the white cardstock this is mounted on, I ran it through my Cuttlebug with a star folder, and you can see it better right there. I used the same star folder on that one. So that is my completed project, and it's not always my style, you know, but I don't really try to follow the trends, so to speak. This is very playful and whimsical, and I do like it, and I want to try using my silhouette files that I've purchased a lot more. And what I've done, and I'm going to come back with another video and show you what I've done with a lot of these very detailed, with a lot of pieces files. I go into and I open the folder up, and then I drop color into each piece with a color that I think I might use. You know, it's just something as a visual to help me see what is what. But I fill the color in on these pieces, so when you place them on the mat, it kind of helps you to see exactly what you're doing. And actually, if you'll give me just a second, I'm going to pause the video and I'll come back and show you on my computer exactly what I'm talking about. So hang tight. Okay, I am holding my camera, so forgive me if it's a little shaky. But this is, I've got my Silhouette Studio open, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to open up my library and show you what a file would normally look like, and then you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to scroll down to my scrapbook. I've got them all in folders to help me find things, and I've got quite a few folders here. I'm sure I don't have as much as some people, but so I've got a folder titled Scrapbook Layouts. I'm going to open that up, and this shows you all of the projects that I've purchased. And for the one that I just did, I'm going to show you, it's right here. I'm going to open it up, and as you see, and let me see if I can zoom in. Whenever you open it up, you get, you know, just a lot of pieces that are everywhere, especially with these type ones. If I were to scroll down and over, I mean, the whole screen is just like filled with pieces, and it's really super hard to tell what is what. So what I did, I'm going to close this one out. No, I don't want to save it because I've not done anything to it. I'm going to go up here to a recent one. I'm going to File, Open Recent, and these are the ones that I saved. So this one, actually, I had to save it in 4 different pieces, but I'll open the first one, and as you can tell, Santa's face, I dropped color into his face, and so I can identify which pieces need what colors. And let's see here. Go to the second one and show you. On this particular page here, everything that is on this page is white. And so I know that everything on here needs to be cut out in white. And I was doing one last night. I actually went through several of my scrapbook layouts that I purchased and did this last night as I was sitting and watching a movie. And I'll show you another one that I did. I have not created this one yet, but I think it's going to be really cute. This is one of them that's got some hearts and stuff in it. It's a really cute one. It's another whimsical one that is, again, it's not, there's other pieces to it. So everything is color coordinated, and this particular design artist, or the people who design these, it's the PPBN, I think it's called, on the Silhouette store. They actually they give you, on their designs like this here, they give you their like a worksheet that you can use for them. Let's see if I can find them. PPBN Designs. That's them right there. And they have a lot of scrapbook pages that she does. A lot of her cuts are, you know, more on the cutesy side. And this one here is really cute. It's called Hugs and Kisses. And on this page right here, if you download the file, or actually if you don't want to download it and you just want to look at it, right here, if you click on that, it takes you to their website there. And it gives you the option to download the instruction sheet, which is awesome. And there are some on here that don't do that. So I congratulate PPBN Designs for doing that. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of explain to you exactly how I did that and how it makes it a lot easier. Woo, got a little dizzy. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial slash come scrap with me kind of video. And I will come back in a later video and show some projects that I've already done. So hope you guys are having a great day. Bye.